Good morning, everybody. I'm Ed Parcaut, and usually here with Mike Kelly, and we're Real Estate Jerky Daily. Mike is still, I think, in Washington D.C. Hasn't gotten back to me when he comes back, so he'll let me know when that happens. And when that happens, you'll know it, but he'll be here anyway. Today is Monday. Not a ton of news out there, but what we normally go over on Monday is the current inventory increase. So we'll get that in a second. Uh, it's This is the not inventory week, but it's inflation week. Last week was jobs week, which came in all over the place. Early in the week, it showed there was a weakness in the market. The rates reacted positively, and then later on Friday, BLS showed that there was not the same information out there, and so unfortunately, the rates reacted negatively. And when I say bonds, that just means rate for you. So when I say bonds are doing better, that means rates are doing better, but I'll just stop saying bonds. I'll just say rates. All right. Let's get into current inventory. All right. So inventory is up to, actually, it's before we get into that, let's get the Dow is about 102. So right now, stocks were higher earlier this morning, but now they've kind of fallen a little bit. They're down about 102. Mortgage-backed securities, which rates are improving right now. We're up 13 basis points. The 10-year sitting at 4.48. That is going to be in a range anywhere from 3.8 to 4.7 this year is what they're saying. So the forecasted rates are anywhere from 5.75 to 7.25. This is Fannie Freddie, not me quoting rates. So don't send the bad guys after me. All right. Key focus today is the U.S.-China trade talks that's happening in London. The U.S. officials, Scott Bessent, Howard Letnick, and Jameson Greer are meeting with China's Vice Premier, He Fengling. I can't say it. I apologize. Hopefully there's a breakthrough on this talks. But, if you know anything in the past about the whole stuff, it doesn't really work out positively all the time. I mean, China's the hardest one to work with, and because they think they're better than us. And I don't mean that wrong. I'm just saying their economy and everything else. So if it does get some stuff comes out there positively, it's going to be positive for stocks and bearish for rates. If it falls apart, rates are going to improve, and that's how that all works. All right, let's talk. So I want to jump ahead to the CPI inflation this week. That we got CPI on Wednesday, PPI on Thursday. If it all comes in as expected, everything will be better. But right now, the shelter impact, 44% of the core CPI is shelter, rent growth, all that stuff. Hopefully those changes that we've seen over the last month does not allow inflation to come in hotter than expected. We hope it comes in the way we do. So let's get right to the inventory. I keep teasing you about it, but here we go. All right. So right now, we went from 803,519 to 808,564. So we're up about 5,045. The question is, did we have is the market at the point where sellers are like, you know what? I don't want to be selling right now. There's nothing I want to, this is not the right time for me, because we've seen some major increases in inventory over the last few weeks, but not so much this week. So the question is, why did it not go up so much last week as how's it been? And they're saying, have home sellers already called it quits on selling their house? They're just waiting because they have to give too much to the buyer. I don't see that. I just think it's one of those weeks that, some places people just got out of school and they're out doing other things. Usually the first week of June and into the second week, it's not crazy. I've been busy last week. Got a few people in contract and new ones come in because it's steady. That's what I say. We're steady, but we're not crazy. And I'd rather be steady and not crazy. I'll take a little bit more with the rates going down and help some people with their refinances to get them out of the high debt for credit cards. I'd love that, because it's just that credit card debt is horrible and it's really going through the roof. Let's see what those numbers are. What else do we have to talk about? So this week we have, I said Monday, just today is just China trade talks in London. Tomorrow is going to be NFI, National Federation of Independent Business Optimism Index. Wednesday, CPI mortgage application, the 10-year auction. Thursday's PPI, that's Producer Price Index, jobless claims, 30-year auctions. And Friday is the University of Michigan's Consumer Sentiment. So the question is where it's all going to pan out into the week. I think it's just not going to move much. I think it's going to go up and down, be right where we are. A lot of people are asking, is this housing market echoing 2008? Are we back to where it was? No, average DTI is 40.5, which is lower than it was back then. But Ginnie Mae loans, that would be Fannie, FHA, is like 45.1%, the highest since 2008. The biggest problem we're having is insurance. The insurance nationally is getting worse, especially in California and a few other states, and that's can affect people. And that's, I think, what possibly could be slowing some stuff down. However, I did run into a gentleman helping me on one transaction. I was very impressed with how inexpensive the fair plan was. Inexpensive. I'm used to 2,000, 3,000, and this one came in about 1,500. And I was like, wow, that's not so bad. So this week, we're going to be focused on inflation, and that's what we're going to be looking at for the next couple of days, and that's where we're going to be. So that's pretty much it. And like I said, inventories didn't come in really hot. We're only up about 5,000 this week compared to the last couple of weeks. We've been at 20 to 20 to 18 to 20,000 average. I'd say 16,000 over the last 4 weeks. Each week is helped with increase the inventory out there, but we're nowhere close to what that article said last week about 500,000 more than the buyers out there. That just was wrong. And that's pretty much it for today. Let me know if you have any questions about anything at all, and I'll add it to the show and we'll talk about it. But again, this is how bad the news is out there. They still have this article about 14 lucrative jobs in the real estate industry, where Mike and I talked about that about 3 weeks ago. That's still out there. But I think there's just a lot of stuff going on right now. You got the riots in LA. You got the fact that in LA, they've only been able to do 55 permits to rebuild homes. People are not happy about that. There's just a lot of stuff. And if you focus on even the fact that my wife and I went on a walk last night on the Virginia corridor and got harassed by 4 bicycle kids. One popped the wheelie and almost hit us, and he intentionally came at us. And you don't know the intent. Well, when they focus their eyes on you and you can see that they're trying to get it to go that way, I would say that's intent. Anyway, so be careful out there when you're walking on the corridor. If you do see any stuff like that, please call the police, let them know so they can get some people over there to stop that stuff. Anyway, that's all I have. Everybody make it a great day. We'll be back tomorrow with more news, and then CPI, PPI on Wednesday and Thursday. All right, make it a great day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. All right, bye.